Hello, welcome. So much for being here tonight. Hi, I'm Taylor Machetti. I'm the artistic director of Laughing Pig Theater.
And I'm Tyler Talabi, and I'm the founder and producer of the Arizona Open Book Society.
So we started, something's happening back there. We started Monologue Cafe. Our very first installment of it was in March.
Yeah, in March.
We just talked about this. It was in March, and every time it comes around, what we do is we pull pieces from the community in the Phoenix area, and they write about different stories. The theme this time was walls, so all of these pieces are from local writers and local performers, and we're so excited to bring these to life because a lot of them are super vulnerable. So I hope you have your tissues. I'm just kidding. You shouldn't need them. Ty, anything you want to add?
I'm just so thankful for all of you coming and showing up and with an open heart and open mind. And these actors, they work so hard to bring these writers' works to life. And yeah, welcome to the show.
Yeah. Thank you all so much. Enjoy the show.
Pain, anger, grief, anxiety, shame, bullied, resentment, disgusted, unhappiness, rejected, walls.
Do you think we sometimes build walls we should never scale? Even if curiosity compels us to try and jump one foot after the other? Hopeless romantic in me aside, I think you might be right. It appears I may be talking to myself this evening, but that's okay. I am my own best audience. I guess another way of examining walls is to think of boundaries. What you need to define to separate yourself from another person or entity. You are not your job. You are not your boyfriend or what you think you did to him. You are not your girlfriend or what you know you did to her. You are not your parents' mistakes, even if they've tried repeatedly to impart them onto you. Perhaps part of me is writing this to console myself. We're all a conglomerate of the experiences that have molded us, good and bad and completely pointless. I have tried to scale a wall a few times. Recently, I'll cringe and admit, I'm not at my worst, but I'm not at my best either. I used to work at a zoo about 10 years ago. It was the summer when Coldplay dominated the radio stations and the world first really discovered Barack Obama. I was in between semesters in school, and the only time I could really work and not completely inconvenience my parents was during the humid Pennsylvania summers. The zoo was something of a dream job, but I was a janitor. People tend to think it was more glamorous than what it really was. No, I essentially cleaned shit off of toilets and picked up used diapers for 3 months. It was one uninterrupted lesson in humility. But in between the diapers and misplaced species, I became friends with some animals. Giraffes and others, but notably the orangutans. I will never forget the orangutans because every morning at 8 a.m. when I walked in with my worn out washcloth to clean the windows of their habitat, they would follow me, study my actions, and proceed to mimic me. Despite the glass barrier caught in the middle, the orangutans and I forged a bond that was real for a short period of time. I never would have tried to cross that boundary though. If I had, they'd probably kill me. You remember that chimp that would ate shit in 2009, right? The same can be said of humans. I've been duking it out with a vicious bout of insomnia lately, partly because the heat in my apartment feels like the exterior of a Hot Pocket, and partly because I'm riddled with numerous anxieties. Either way, my long-term ex-girlfriend appeared in my thoughts for the first time in months. Are you fucking serious? I said to my brain. You do not need to go down this road, it only leads to pain. My brain, however, is a sadist. So one sleepless night, I did it. I did what most millennials will do when thinking about an ex-love. I Googled her. Lo and behold, this brought about her blog. It turned out she was doing well and made a nice life for herself, and this wasn't really upsetting to me. Rather, I was glad and relieved that she was finally healing from her own personal demons. Like me, she had a circle of hell in her head. The last words she spoke to me were via text message. It was summer 2014, and I was in the midst of a tumultuous mood. Her comments when I reached out to her then were as callous as she had ever been at her cruelest moments. Please don't ever contact me again. The message was short and succinctly got the point across. There was no mistaking what she meant in it. We, fortunately, never crossed paths or exchanged words again until this month. I was overwhelmed with the urge to tell her how happy I was for her and glad she was doing well finally. Despite our personal hang-ups, the peace was long overdue. And as cliched as it is, I was just happy for her and I wanted her to remain happy. I was cognizant of the fact that I didn't want to cause her any pain or trauma or any sort of stress my memory might conjure. In fact, for a while I was certain I wouldn't contact her at all. If the universe desired for us to meet again, well, there would be an obvious sign, an omen, a blood red moon, or maybe a plague of locusts. As anyone who's experienced insomnia knows, one sleepless night begets another sleepless night. So I had many more of these to endure. Every evening, the thought lingered above my head. Should I? Should I? Should I really fuck up her general well-being by sending my well wishes? And there were no dreams to fight these thoughts out. No good dreams anyway. So I gave in a moment that required rare courage or tremendous stupidity. I wrote an email that was incredibly lucid, given the obscene hour at which I fired it off at. The gist, I was glad she was well finally and I had come in peace. Less than an hour later, I was shocked to get her response. Hers, much shorter than my semi-novella, was pithy but heartfelt. I'm sorry. Now, I had waited many a year for an apology that I never expected to materialize, and now it was here, at my door. This mangy-looking creature that I had no idea what to do with. Or this unexpected gift that might be meant to kickstart a chain reaction of self-forgiveness in my personal journey. I mean, she may have hurt me, but I have hurt others as well. And forgiving myself has perhaps been the most astounding challenge of them all. And if she could forgive me, well, this opened the floodgates to other revelations. I now think I was not meant to respond to that message, to let bygones be bygones and feel permission to start anew. But the peace she gifted me felt uneasy, mainly because I had no idea what I was supposed to do with it. In her compassion, I hadn't swam. I sunk like a stone. My invitation to follow up was sent to her. I'd always imagined we'd meet again, but I knew it was a naive fantasy. I didn't want to start a relationship with her of any sort. I simply wanted us to cordially exist in the space between us. I wanted her to keep her walls. They protected her for a reason. In the process, though, I lost mine, and they protected me for a reason. The invitation fell on deaf ears. She never responded. Reasons are reasons, and I will probably never know them. Some walls were never meant to be scaled.
You seem real smart. Went to college, did you? I did all my learning right smack in the middle of the city at the Central Branch Library. That's how I knew to start my path, and how I knew truth when I found it. Thank you for that brief and inaccurate assessment of the situation. Eggheads. Some people, huh? Wouldn't know the truth if it came down and bit them on the rump. I want the truth! Those ignoramuses that yell at you on the street, they don't want nothing. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And may the gods bless your wicked soul from a simulation and unnecessary mutilation. So anyway, I was wondering who the next convert was going to be. I have kind of a sixth sense about such things. I do, 'cause I'm so close to God. See, and I can read signs better than anyone else in the Brotherhood, even the men. So I was meditating on the corner over there, looking back at the wall and asking who the next one would be. And I got a sign. I saw a bus go past a Frankfurter truck. And just the name Frank was there plain as day. That is your name, right? So I knew it was going to be you before even you did. Pretty neat, huh? I told you I saw it on a truck. No, I'm not shitting you. You should watch your language. I'm a fucking nun. No. No. Don't go. I didn't mean to startle you. Here. Let me tell you more about what goes down when you join up. What else? Hey, you ever wonder why there are eyes looking out at you when you look in a mirror? No, not your eyes. Other eyes. Staring. That's because they leave checkpoints on every reflective surface, which report back to them your constant whereabouts. Neat, huh? Yeah. And echoes. That's totally them. Or minions. helpers, I mean. Checking back on you to make sure that they heard you correctly before they run and report on you to God. There are echoes everywhere. Only we normally block them out. We'd go mad if we realized exactly how much of our lives they knew. I mean, they're God, for heaven's sake. Surely you learned that even in your alternative church, whatever that was. Yeah, he was a grade too. All the spiritual teachers have been. So anyhow, it's kind of a big deal. The initiation process. You meet them. Meet God. Face to face. It can be pretty intense. What? No, they'll feed you first thing, before the ceremony. You'll get indoctrinated for a full week before you get to meet them. Just stay at the compound and only come out for meals, prayers. You sure? All right then. You'll be my fifth. And they all made it. Well, at least as far as the initiation. A couple of those got cinder-sized, I'm afraid. But only because they blew up their studies. Plus, they were meant to within all permutations of time and space. But mostly, it was the inattention to the texts. Oh, don't be alarmed. You'll do fine. You have a steady hand and a determined look about you. What? Well, hungry for knowledge is a good thing. Well, hungry by itself can be a focus agent too. I hope you know you're going to be used for spare parts for that, buddy! You'll regret it. They always take the ones I scan, like clockwork, 48 hours after I scan them. That's right. Show off your nice, long middle finger to the Zeta. They'll harvest that too! Feisty bastard. Oh, harvesting isn't so bad. As a true believer, you get to hold the donor, remove metals from their person, put them in a holding bowl, run errands, push paper. You get the idea. You don't do anything like cutting or cauterizing or anything like that. Oh my God! Once I was peering into this guy's body as the lords and masters were removing a couple organs. While one of them moved real fast, I dropped my gum in surprise. Yeah, right in his belly! embarrassment, not execution. They do a lot of freaky stuff. Let me tell you, they run around as fast as a flash, it seems, and sometimes they walk right through walls. Not all just the spaceship ones either, but regular house building walls. They can put thoughts in your mind, and they keen like, well, like witches. Super spooky. I feel kind of freaked out. Mind if I... Did I scare you? Don't feel bad. Lots of people don't know how to process all this new information. You wouldn't be the first person to need to readjust after hearing what the universe is really like. Here. I was saving this, but I reckon you can use it more than I can right now. You smoke? No? Huh. That's unusual for a guy on the street. No offense. I mean, most people who know the struggles of life ain't ashamed to turn to nicotine for a pick-me-up. No. Here, let's... I've got something else you might want. There we are. A nice bit of something to eat. Let's play a game. If you are a worthy and attentive companion, for about 10 minutes, I'll give you this entire delicious roll. That a deal? Good. I've got something important to tell you. The lords and masters, they've been collecting us and parts of us because they want to interbreed with us. And some people alive on Earth today are already offspring of this match. And I am one of them. That's why I'm so good at hearing them and reading the signs. You can tell if you look really carefully. See, my eyes are huge for a normal human. Bet you just thought I was pretty, huh? And look, my legs are as long as most human women. And my fingers are longer too. My wrists are more slender. And my body is shaped different. Don't you see it? You need to learn to live a little. That's right. Here it is. Nice and our true colors show, don't they? Who are you? Who are you working for? The FBI? The CIA? The UFO debunkers? G.I. Joe and the Ancient Aliens gang? Oh, they'd love this, wouldn't they? So much they'd want to know. So much. You think you're going to tell them. It's all right. I forgive you. Poor thing. You can't help but play a role in this crazy scheme of life. You didn't decide to be on the wrong team, now did you? Of course not. And you, hungry and shaking. Here, rest against this wall. And let me give you what you've been asking Just think, it was the wrong Frank all along. Huh. What are you gonna do? It's a crazy world. Change, sir? Do you have $1 to spare the work of the Lord?
I mean, okay, he felt like a drug. Better than Zoloft or Xanax. He was more organic. I mean, at least that's what I told myself, you know. I remember feeling high whenever he touched me and safe whenever he listened to me, you know. Being with him was like a mixture between an illusion and elation. It felt like a dream. He was my dream. I mean, dreaming shouldn't be a sin, but he made me feel like it was. When I told him that I had a dream that we both fell in love, and he told me dreams were just dreams, and that's when he forced me to open my eyes, and at that moment I knew that's when he was going to make me fall. You know, just like crashing back down to reality. I should have left him, you know. I mean, all the signs were there. But my dream told me to hold on. And my depression told me I would break if I left him. Oh, God. Look, he was a good guy, okay? He made me feel wanted when I didn't even want myself. He was there when nobody else was. He was always there, okay? Day and night for 7 months, for 7 fucking months! He was always there! And now the drug is wearing off. I'm losing the high. Reality is setting in. He's not giving me my fix. He's not there when I need him. Now he makes me cry. Now he makes me lose sleep. Now he makes me yell. Now he makes me beg like Now he makes me realize that it's not him making me do all these things, it's myself. I chose to stay, even when my heart told me he was moving away. Why do I stay? I don't know, because, despite everything that he's doing to me, he told me that he still wants me, okay? That he doesn't want me to leave, that he wants me close. But he keeps pushing me away, Like, could you stop pushing me away? Like, oh God. All I wanted was to be loved and cared for. And now I'm afraid I'm losing my chance. I'm afraid I'm gonna be alone again. But I feel horrible whenever I'm with him, like I'm not worth anything, but I don't know. But I'm afraid, like if I leave him, I'm afraid I'll fall. I'm afraid that I'll relapse. I'm afraid I'll go back into my depression. He was so good at distracting me from myself. And now he's failing. Now the drug is wearing off. I should leave. Yeah, I need to leave. going to leave. I choose to leave. I'm waking up.
I've been in the system for, since I was 11. So yeah, whatever. It's as bad as you think. You'd be surprised how easy it is to get kicked out of a foster family. Oh, excuse me, transferred. I'll age out soon, but this kind of treatment, it stays with you. Fear, I guess. Contempt almost. Like my being there. My forced invasion of their home scares them into hating me or something. They don't even know me. All they know is what it says on the form. Parents deceased. When they ask about it, which they aren't supposed to freaking do, by the way, I always tell them a different story.
All my parents went out to the theater, were mugged and shot. And ever since, I've dedicated my life to avenging their deaths. I am Batman!
Maybe you should stop listening by then anyway. They probably think I did it. It's what they want to hear, like I'm a living Lifetime movie. Like Mom's death was my fault somehow. Oh, it was all totally her thing. Her pills, her wine, her choice too, I guess. It's like, you can't actually blame me for suicide, right? Right?
I've been working on this for a long time. I'm not just going to tear it down. I like it. Besides, you can see right through the glass. From several steps back, it's not so bad. And I added flowers in the broken parts, the cracks. Just because I'm alone now doesn't mean I don't want to laugh. Haven't you heard that? The earth laughs in flowers. And so I wanted to laugh with the earth. After all, the earth won't forsake me. He loved the earth so much, more than me. Always wanting to get up at the crack of dawn and make love to it. I preferred the bed. Anyways, I'm going to keep working on this. Maybe I'll add some color. Blue is nice, or black even. I mean, I like openness, but people don't need to see me all the time, right? Yeah, I mean, duh. Last time was fine. No one made me feel as safe as he did. I didn't have a wall then, just a white picket fence. It was so cute. Everything was full of whimsy, a dream. I thought he'd like it. I thought he'd stay, that he'd bring me flowers, that we'd plant a garden together. Just because he didn't, just because he chose her, that doesn't make anything less valid. I mean, I made this wall out of my love for him. That means something, doesn't it? I can't take it down now. I'm sorry. It's art now. It's part of me. But maybe we can paint it together? Or you can help me build it higher. I know I'll want to. Even now I want to. And And it's not you, not at all. Laura's told me so many great things about you. So many. I'm looking forward to getting to know you from afar, from behind my wall. I've got to finish it first, though. Make it stronger, more durable, not as fragile as glass. It cracked when I saw them kiss, when I heard him. I don't need to hear that, or see that. So, no more glass walls, no crystal clear anything, nothing that can be sprayed down with Windex so that birds and people walk right into me. I'm vulnerable. I don't like that so much. Do you? What's yours look like? What do you think about cement?
I'm losing myself trying to find myself. My mind is my safe room, a space where I shove all my feelings and thoughts in. Then, I put in my defenses. Always have my guard up like a brick wall. It's protecting me from the neurotic world, or it's protecting the world from what's inside. I sit in the middle, staring at nothing but this blank canvas. These white walls leave me with this insane expression. Trying not to lose my sanity, I speed to insanity, losing my sense of humanity. These walls are the very foundation of my mind. Did I say safe room? It's more like a booby trap and I'm captured inside. Why are they so blank? Why are these walls just full of emptiness? I'm trying to break through these walls, trying to take down the white, looking for something other than this emptiness. Trying to escape this white drives me insane. Trying to open the door. The sound of rattling echoes through the room. There's not even a key slot for this key in my hand. Maybe it's for the best. You don't want to see the version of me inside. Even I'm scared of the demons that haunt me. Going in circles looking for an escape, I'm scared I'll turn to someone I won't even recognize. Only time could tell. My hourglass is running dry. I'm scared to fail again. To have it all and lose it all once again. I only see what I choose to see. I've come to a realization that these walls aren't blank. I just choose to ignore what I could be. If only I flood my mind with what's hiding inside these walls. Everything I ever shoved in here turned into writing on walls. The words make up the pages of writing I leave behind. These words are what I'm slowly learning. I write them down before I can forget them. Because I'm still afraid of who I can become. So I repaint the walls white. Instead of trying to mend the problems of the past. Hoodie up and headphones in, I sit surrounded by white. Losing myself, trying to find myself. Rewriting the words that I see. And I lose my version of sanity.
Before I begin, I need to explain. I have been going through chemotherapy, and one of the side effects is what they call chemo brain. So I was absolutely unable to memorize what I was about to say, and I have to thank Teo and Taylor and Tony for allowing me to have the words written out in case I need to say them. So thank you for your understanding. David John Cameron. Oh, how he loved his name. He often said to me that the greatest gift his parents gave him was his name. Always David. Never Davy, never Dave, never DJ. John without the H. David from the Old Testament, meaning beloved. And indeed, he was beloved. People would sometimes inquire how David and I met, and on rare occasions we would actually tell them the truth. Although we never kept our relationship a secret, it was always understood and accepted. I was a poor farm boy from upstate New York and moved into New York City right after college. David was the product of strict New England ancestors and prep school educated. While my sexuality took a while to understand, David's was realized, as I would tartly say, in his prissy years in prep school. In those days, New York City was a treasure trove of promiscuity to anyone who enjoyed cruising the streets, avenues, and parks, no matter what time of the day or night. And so, not surprisingly, one mild fall evening, we both happened to be in search of an assignation on 3rd Avenue. My telling the happenstance of our first encounter always made David somewhat embarrassed, but I loved the truth and joy of our discovering each other. To a very few select friends, I would reveal we were two whores that passed in the night. David and I were both passionate about, enthusiastic about live theater, classical music, opera, ballet, movies, and travel. And we were so fortunate over the years to be able to fulfill so many of our cultural dreams. We attended performances in London, Paris, San Francisco, Venice, Lisbon, Vienna, Rome, Copenhagen, and Moscow, to name just a few. We traveled to those and dozens of other cities, not only for their culture, but their beauty. And in the process, we made numerous good friends from all over the world, friendships that have endured for decades. We discovered the pleasure of small cruise ships, allowing us the opportunity to visit a multitude of new destinations, again, establishing lasting, lifelong acquaintances. A few times while at sea, when we encountered rough weather, most passengers, including myself, were violently seasick. David would be ordering room service. David and I were among the first passengers on the SST Concorde, flying from Paris to New York in less than 3 hours. In contrast, we were trapped in the Eurostar train mid-tunnel underneath the English Channel for 5 very terrifying hours. We rode donkeys in Greece, camels in Egypt and Jordan, swam with dolphins in the Persian Gulf. We galloped on horseback, following in the footsteps of Lawrence of Arabia. We stood at the edge of the Kilauea volcano just weeks before it erupted. In Ephesus, Turkey, we prayed at the house where the Virgin Mary lived with St. Paul after the crucifixion of Christ. In Oman, we were able to visit the site of Job's tomb, and we were emotionally stimulated while attending Mass in Fatima, Portugal. On a Good Friday in Rome, we stood only a few feet from Pope John II, as he carried the cross out of the Colosseum during the Stations of the Cross procession. We wept at the cave in Patmos, Greece, where St. John received the words to his book of Revelations. During our many explorations, David and I had the pleasure of meeting a variety of famous people, such as the Emir of United Arab Emirates, the Prince and Princess of Denmark, Emperor Hirohito of Japan, Lana Turner, Elizabeth Taylor, Lady Margaret Thatcher, and numerous others. Without exception, they were all congenial, warm, unpretentious, and most importantly, without prejudice toward our relationship. What gratification we had together, sharing these and so many other exciting and unexpected experiences. And David especially was always looking forward to the next great adventure or encounter. With David's straightforwardness and occasional lack of tact, there were many inadvertent moments of humor. One of my favorites occurred at a shipping industry function where David was in the buffet line behind a lady who was struggling to get some hors d'oeuvres on her plate while juggling a glass of wine. With great impatience, David said to her, "It looks like you could use another hand." The lady turned around, smiled graciously, and replied, "I absolutely agree with you, young man." It was then, that moment, David looked down and realized she only had one arm. With great embarrassment and his innate charm and intense blushing caused the lady to laugh and hand him her wine glass so the wine would move more quickly. After leaving the shipping industry and joining me in my career of direct mail fundraising, David quickly became highly regarded throughout the nonprofit community. Once at a conference in Washington, D.C., a gentleman asked David who some of our clients were, and responding and repeating our long-standing mantra, he replied, "If they can't walk, talk, see, or hear, we'll work with them, as long as they're not Republicans." He then looked at the name tag. The man who was asking the question. He was the chairman of the Republican National Committee. I, of course, could not keep from bursting into hysterical laughter and was joined by the gentleman and others who were with him. There were times when we were rich. There were times when we were poor. There were times of great struggle, times of extravagance, times of overwhelming sadness, times of unrestrained happiness, times of immense elation, times of confusion, times of suffering, times of smoldering anger, times of conflict, times of joy, but never, ever, however, was there a time of monotony. David John Cameron. David, meaning beloved. On David's behalf, thank you. Thank you to our precious lemon beagle Annie, whose devotion and affection was David's one true joy and happiness in the past 4 years. She has been part of our lives. Thank you to Father Thomas Catucci, who today has allowed David's dream of a Catholic funeral mass to come true. Thank you to the Cameron family, who despite undeserving, unrelenting, and uncharacteristic behavior in recent years due to David's ravages of his Alzheimer's disease, never wavered in their love and understanding. Thank you to the entire Briggs family, who instantly welcomed David into their lives as a son, brother, and uncle without any hesitation. Thank you to the Camerons and the Briggses for giving him, me, us, unconditional acceptance for so many years. David John Cameron, a man of so many different qualities, a spectrum of emotions, personality, moods, character, and attitude, who never hesitated to express his feelings, good or bad. He was like a coat of many colors, and he wore each color at any given moment, and occasionally all together at the same time. Orange, the color of creativity, spirit, fascination, and encouragement. Yellow, the color of sunshine, joy, intellect, energy, and happiness. Blue, the color of confidence, faith, loyalty, truth, adherence, and softness. Green, the color of ambition, endurance, greed, stamina, and jealousy. White, the color of perfection, light, purity, radiance, and innocence. Purple, the color of royalty, dignity, extravagance, wisdom, independence, and mystery. Black, the color of despair, rage, wickedness, fear, evil, grief, and elegance. These were David's coat of many colors, intertwined and sewn together with the color red. Red, the color of strength, passion, lust, energy, desire, enthusiasm, and above all else, red, the color of love. For 44 years, it was my honor, my privilege, my glory, and indeed my destiny to have been shrouded, comforted, consoled, engulfed in David's magnificent coat, his magical coat, his extravagant coat, his luminous coat, his coat of many colors. David John Cameron, who entreated, "Do not stand at my grave and cry, I am not there, I did not die." No, he did not die. He is here, right now, at this very moment, with me, with you, reaching out, embracing each of us in his magical coat, his magnificent coat, his beautiful coat of many colors. Rejoice in his presence. David from the Old Testament, David meaning beloved, David John Cameron, beloved by our families, beloved by our friends, beloved by so many. David John Cameron, David, my life partner, David, my life.
We can't be friends anymore. I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to look at you. I don't want to ever see you again. No, I'm sorry. You did nothing wrong. I'm just trying to push you away. I just want to be alone. I just need to be alone. Stop trying to be there for me. Stop trying to make me feel better. Because, you know, everything that has given me life, a reason for being, is either leaving me or will soon disappear. You used to always be there, but time, relationships, our jobs, it's pulling us apart. We used to be so in sync, practically soulmates. But now I feel us becoming strangers. You used to always be there, but now I feel you disappearing. Only showing up when it's convenient for you. When I needed you most, you weren't there. It's not your fault. It was too late in the night. That's why I said we can't be friends. I feel like everything I identified myself with is disappearing, and I don't know what to do. I don't know who I am. And I don't know where I'm going. And I'm scared. I'm scared. I can't handle the ambiguity not knowing if you'll be in my life or not. Remember when you said that when we're both 87 years old, that before we finally kicked the bucket that we'd go to the Grand Canyon together? But things are changing, we're changing, and I'm afraid of randomly losing you someday. So that's why I said we can't be friends, because I'm tired of losing. I am so tired. So I'd rather end this now sooner than later. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to do. Everything is being taken away from me, and I don't know why. I feel I have no control. So I need to gain control. And maybe in letting go of us, I will gain that control. The fear will leave me. The fear of loss. The fear of losing another person. Maybe I'll breathe. Maybe I will finally be free.
I always know right away when my day will be shot. A sense of dread eats at me like emotional rot. Breath caught short, oh God, it's always the same. Pressure in my chest, more like a weight than a pain. I try to push it away, but I know it will stay. I tell myself I just gotta get through the day. I say I'm straight, cis, white, overweight, that's alright. Always got a place to sleep at the end of the night. Got a steady paycheck and all four limbs. Unconditional support from my family and friends. The world's so big, doesn't this seem small? Wouldn't you rather feel sad than nothing at all? So don't bother anyone because you know what they'll say. Think positive thoughts, it's just a bad day. Cut to some hours later, AZ Loop 101. After a long hard shift of nothing getting done. But the sun is going down and I'm in the home stretch. Relief is almost in sight when my breath starts to catch in my throat. Oh please no, I was so close. No triggers, no warnings, buckle up, here it goes. Push it down, make it stop, I can make it all right. Then a whisper in my head says it's worse when you fight. So I let go, let loose, let the storm take control. see, I can't speak, I can't breathe, I can only scream, don't know how, I keep driving through shrieking and haze, but I know it will pass, it's just one of those days, you know I'm straight cis white, or wait, that's alright, always got a place to sleep at the end of the night, got a steady paycheck, and all four limbs, conditional support from my family and friends, the world's so big, doesn't this seem small, wouldn't you rather feel sad than nothing at all, so don't bother anyone, because you know what they'll say, think positive thoughts, it's just a bad day, deep breath, hands steady, I start to clear, my throat's raw from yelling, I wipe away tears, I could sleep in the driver's seat, I'm feeling so drained, muscles in my face ache from contortion and strain, nothing to do now but get on with my night, looking back it all seems so much more slight, I'm an emotional mess, that's the thing, I always get through it, I'm not suffering, I mean what right do I have in this life to complain, they think I'm making it up, if I try to explain, best if I just push it all down, and hope next time it happens, no one's around, I'm embarrassed for overreacting this way, besides I'm sure I'll feel better someday, because I'm straight, cis, white, overweight, that's alright, always got a place to sleep at the end of the night, got a steady paycheck and all four limbs, unconditional support from my family and friends. The world's so big, doesn't this seem small? Wouldn't you rather feel sad than nothing at all? So don't bother anyone because you know what they'll say. Think positive thoughts, it's just a bad day.
A few years after Mom passed away that Dad lost his battle with cancer. It's left a wall between me and the rest of the world. A wall between life and death. And another wall between normal and not so much. Mom and Dad gone, I inherited, for lack of a better word, my developmentally disabled older brother, Hugh. Without a crystal ball, it was going to be almost impossible to figure out what would happen to him. Mom and Dad said they would always take care of him. It was their responsibility and not mine. After all, I was the one who was spreading his wings and leaving home to go to college and look for a job. I was not to be involved in his care. Nice space for a wall between two brothers. The wall grew following Dad's death. I found myself looking after a brother who didn't understand how or why Mom and Dad had left. Then there was the question of why his little brother was now making life decisions for him. As the wall continued to grow, built by fear and confusion. The professionals in the world told me I couldn't use the phrase developmentally disabled. I had to find a name for what I was dealing with. 2 doctors and a couple of psychological evaluations later, I finally had the needed name. Autism. He wasn't developmentally disabled, he was autistic. I knew I needed help and tried to climb the wall. I was told that autism was associated with children, not a 48-year-old man who had just been provided a diagnosis by his younger brother. Doors were slammed in my face as the walls grew taller and wider, separating me from my brother and my brother from the real world. Cement, made up of Hugh's screams and yells and lack of understanding, made the wall stronger as strands of ivy crawled to the top. our separate directions. I'm in an apartment in one part of town, and I helped him move into an assisted living home about 20 minutes away. When I visit my brother, I talk to the walls, not the trees, as Clint Eastwood sang in Paint Your Wagon. My brother watches TV, and watches TV, and watches TV. I like to think the walls listen to what I have to say. At least I don't talk back.
I guess I saw it once on our wedding day. Brimming, shining in your eye. In fact, now I'm not even sure if the tear even came out of your eye or if I had just imagined it. Painted a shade of vulnerability in you, trying to give a face to something that might not exist. I thought I'd see it when you walked through the door and saw my bruised, broken body, the result of a careless driver and an obstructed stop sign. The imprint of the grill on my thigh, Toyota. The echo of the car roof in my ear, the taste of the hot asphalt on my lips, bruises blooming over the left side of my body. You saw me. Paused. We need to get you a helmet. A year passes. I thought I'd see it when I stepped back into the waiting room. You put your magazine down, walked over and kissed me. Oh, I feel like I'm confessing something. So, there was cancer. We need to go downstairs to schedule radiation. You carefully pressed the elevator button. I watch your face in the elevator and you tell me about the magazine you read. Ask me which American Chinatown I thought could be best. I say, probably San Francisco. Your mom calls and you say that I'm doing all right. I say, you know, I'm not all right, right? Yeah. A year passes, I reach for my seatbelt for support as if it could stabilize my shaking. Of course it doesn't, and I fall into myself. My voice is raw from shouting to the 911 operator, shouting everything as it happened, shouting words into the phone before I even fully realized what was happening, shouting at you to get the fuck out of there, shouting and coughing up dust and smoke, shouting to you over a pile of glass and rubble that used to be the wall of a Kmart. Shouting at you that we can't save this person. There are gallons of gas loaded in his back seat. I stare at the back of his car as he puts a match in the gas tank. Toyota. Fire happens, a gunshot happens. The police finally show up. We get in our car and drive away before anyone else has the chance to ask us, holy shit! Did you see what happened? Huh! That guy really needs some driving lessons. Back in the car. I thought I'd see it from you then, but you just drove. Drove us safely home as I shook with inaudible sobs. You pull over so that I can throw up. A year passes, and you have slept soundly. My nightmares became too real. I would spend nights awake, wondering where your nightmares were. And now I'm in this hospital, passing you a peeled orange across a plastic table, trying to be the classiest hostess visitation hour's ever seen. Visitation goes by so quickly. We spend most of it holding hands and catching up, getting excited for Christmas next week, and hoping I get out in time. It's so good to see you. The last time I'd hoped I'd see it was here. Thought I'd finally see some chip in your wall. Finally see you cry. Cry out of anger towards me for making you drive out here. Cry out of pity for me being shut in here. Maybe even cry out of pity for yourself for having such a mess of a wife. Instead, you make me laugh so hard. We laugh about the creepy guy on my floor that keeps saying he sees Satan in my left eye, just the left one. You mentioned that eye does tend to bulge out just a little more. We laugh about how you threw a water bottle at the burning car like that would solve anything. And you say that the saddest part about that night was that you lost your water bottle. It was an Algene. Oh, we laughed so hard that one of the nurses stops by just to shush me. I thought I wanted to see you cry. But really, I just wanted us to make fun of how I wanted organic everything as soon as I was diagnosed. Organic peanut butter, organic paper towels, organic potato salad. But I still drink Diet Coke. We laugh and we wonder how much Diet Coke must have been in my cancerous tumor. We laugh about how probably the only reason I got hit by that car was because I was in such a rush to get home and eat Indian food leftovers, and it was probably a good thing I was so distracted by the accident that I did not realize that you had eaten them all the night before. I feel myself shift from this armored survivor to something else. Something like stupid. The only kind of stupid that can come when you finally feel free for the first time in a long time. And thank goodness too. Because as that survivor person, I literally prayed for the love of my life to cry. Like, that would make me feel less alone, like a single tear from someone else would erase years of my personal trauma. But it took all of that trauma and more for me to get here and for me to realize that this wall between you and I, it was never yours.
I gave you the advice.
Yeah, but we left it.